And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeshiva's Gula Show, Wartime ZOOMSHTEIG 113. On our way to 613 and beyond, Mirza Hashem. Now, we're learning in the schos of the captives. They should be freed, and the soldiers freeing them, and the captives all over the flat earth, and the soldiers trying to free them all over the flat earth. We say a big time Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Bracha, welcome. Clown Spy to the Steig. I don't know who this JoJo account is under, but I'm also under an account that's not my own.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, this is Click's big over here. And Heliga, all right, the Talmud from the days when I was a Madrich there, and then a Night Seder Rebbe. And so it's a big honor to have JoJo with us, to have his Clown Spy with us. An honor to be joined also with Shligs and DVJ per usual, or Hashem, Yachin and Bayaz. Now, I don't know if you guys can see over my head. Could you guys see that?
Probably kind of far away from me.
What are we looking at? We're looking at a pasuk on a projector?
I tried to bring the daf.
Amazing.
Okay, listen. Every day we're getting better. Abishter will give us the Ad Nishmaya. It's the third day of this Maisa that we were in the middle of. We saw, I would say, half at least of the Rebbe Nachman on this shtickle Agadata in Bava Basra, and we saw the entire Maharsha who actually connected it to Purim. And so now we're going to see the Maisa, and it's behind me, but we're going to have to do better next time, but I think it's pretty good. Oh, check this out, world coming in. We steigen here and over there. Assalamu alaikum, Avi Mairi. Hilgatati. Okay, so we're getting back to the Maisa. Every day we see the Maisa inside because it's such, we understand it better every day. The Amar Rabba Ḥana says, we're in Masechtas Bava Basra, Avodah Zarah, Ayin Gimel Amud Beis. Amar Rabba Ḥana, Zimna Chada Hava Ka'azilna B'Sfinta. There was one time that I was going on the Safina, on the Safinta, on the boat. So we saw, and this, by the way, is so funny. This is so funny, and I'll tell you why it's so funny. Because everyone's expecting Rebbe Nachman, such a Hasidic guy, to have like the most out there, like wondrous interpretations. Oh, there's no way that I could show you the daf. And also, wait, what about this? The Amar Rabba Bar Ḥana, Zimna Chada Ka'azilnam B'Sefinta. I was going in a boat. And Rabbi Nachman says he's going in the boat of wisdom. This is just a metaphor for deep meditation or something. This is right. This not never actually happened. And Rabbi Nachman's coming in with like this like very quote unquote rationalist perspective. Till Chazinat, I saw a kavra. I saw a fish, and we spoke about why it's called kavra, right? But we don't really know still. Maybe we'll get some shot, but that's a kasha, kavra. The yazva lay akhla, an eater of mud. And so we saw that akhla, what is that a reference? Right? Rashbam says that it's a sheret. And he says it's a sticklefish, like my tati brought. A sticklefish. But we saw, I think, in the Ben Yehoyada, which David should give us this to see today, that akhla is actually a reference maybe to a serpent or a snake, because that got the klala to eat the dirt, right? Tina is dirt or mud, maybe. the OCA. So it climbed up into his nose. A yid told me that he was driving up yesterday and he was listening to shiur and his nose was bothering him, and he learned about the Gemara talking about nose immediately healed. So v'adchu maya v'shadyu. So the water, it pushed him and it shot him. It threw him leguda to the side, to the riverbank. And it's interesting that riverbank and word bank, it has to do with maritime law. We're just paying attention to that stuff. The charav mine she's mechuze, the akhla mine sitin mechuze, the malach mine sitin mechuze. And they ate from it 60 mechuze, right? So we're saying it destroyed 60 mechuzas. It ate it. So what was it? The Maharsha said like they ate it. That's how we interpreted it. That they were able to, destroyed like 60 mechuzas, but they also ate 60 mechuzas. They ate from this fish to sustain them, and they were able to even have long-term Ḥana because they're able to salt the fish and turn it into some sort of herring. Yo, Dad, there's a raya for herring in the Gemara. Chatzba, it's big, huh? You got raya for herring.
Herenstein.
Herenstein, that's what they used to call my dad. That's why I told him, I said, hey, Dad, Herenstein over here. Over here.
Okay.
Over here. And so Ravish herring from the Malchu, they salted it. A year later, they came, from the eye of this fish, they took 300 sacks full of oil. And when they went back a year later, the Chazira, the Kamenasri, Megarme, they built these amazing structures from the bones of the fish, and they sat, and it was able to hold all of the towns that got destroyed. So it looked that when after we take down the shiur, it could look that there's like a little bit of destruction and desolacy in the world and but really we're gonna grow from it. Oh, my eyes! Really, we're gonna grow from it, and we're gonna steig. And that's why it's important that my dad was able to research for us and find for us that the kilvis that the Rashbam was talking about, that we talked about with this akhla, this mud dirt eater. So I said, Dad, I got you. I'm setting up the phone. The mud dirt eater was a kilvis. It was a Torah animal, and so that's what allowed us to offer our shot. That it talks about us infiltrating the shibud through the nose, which we know is the most kodesh, one of the scents, the only scent which did not do a chet in the chet of Adam Arishon. Okay. But let's see the remainder of Rebbe Nachman, and then with Siyata Dishmaya, we're going to see the Ben Yehoyada from the Sephardi perspective. Umalu, and he filled Michar Galgala de Einat Laz Mana Garbe Mishcha. He filled up. So this is my Rabba Ḥana hat. It says, shut up and fish. It says, shut up and fish. And we're learning about the fish. We're learning about the fish. This fish that we're talking about is no ordinary fish. It's a fish the size of that could destroy 60 towns over here. And his eye was so big that they filled up 300 stocks of oil. The Gari Mishnah is Bechina of Das. Stocks of oil, Das. Kishem and Mishchas Kodesh. Kishem is Mishchas Kodesh. Zeu Bechina Seichel. The oil is Bechina of the intellect of Seichel. Das. V'tzulas Meya Zeh Bechinas Moshe. 300 is the Bechina of Moshe Rabbeinu. How do we know? 2 Bechinas Ma. The Bechina of Ma, Memhei. Shat Tzadik Magdin as Atzmo B'Bechinas Ma. Because the Tzadik, he makes himself smaller. He's like, what am I? I'm just a Chelik Eloha at the end of the day, right? Tzadik, people talking Tzadik. You know, I'm a Chelik Eloha. And obviously, I'm not talking about myself, but like, yeah, Tzadik would say, what? I'm a Chelik Eloha. What do you want from me? That's what Tzadik would say. He would say, Ma. He would say, Ein Ma. Ma. Ein Ma. That's what the Tzaddik would say. Hey, Ma, do you know what my favorite Lucky Pants socks are? Ma! So he's Bechinas Ma. There are 3 ways that we can humble ourselves. Like it says, Al Yisrael Kacham Gibor Ashir. So a wise person, a strong person, and a rich person should not, right? It just says should not yitalal. Yitalal is binyan hitpael. A person, a wise person. I shouldn't be pointing to myself for any of these, but point to you guys. Wise person, or a strong person, or a rich person. You know, like the Haley Eden, she was going to over here. So we shouldn't be you shouldn't say, oh, look how great I am because I have these 3 things, or I have one of these 3 things. Either way, a yid should not be like mitalel. He shouldn't be like, yo, look how great I am. It's doing it to himself. It's reflexive. It's yit halel, right? In each of these days, what I'm smart, what I'm strong, what I'm rich. The aliyah is that yeshlo his pashtus agashmiyad, and through this he has his pashtus agashmiyad. It really is lashon of pashtus, but his pashtus is like it. He like strips it off of him. You know, he simplifies himself from all Gashmias. Gashmias is too complicated, and he just mispashet, and he takes it all off. Umidabik or Ein Sof, and he has the bakers. He cleaves to or Ein Sof. That keser, we're bliving on that one. To the infinite. She'ein sham shum shinoi ratzon. There's no difference of intention, of desire. El Hashem hu Elokim. The only ratzon, the only possible thought in this spiritual galaxy, which is called Or Ein Sof. I said, what is this keser? And only because we're learning the sugi of Gemara do I even bring up these such lofty topics. And since it's part of the sugi of Gemara, so you can say shot and do his best. All we know over there in Keser, in where it's called Olam or Ein Sof, this could be above Orach Ampin, right? If Orach Ampin is Chachma and or Abba, Chachma Bina, and Abba Ima, and so if they talk about Keser as a Partsuf, there's a lot of names they give. They give Gilgulta, they give Resha Delois Yada, and they give Atika Kadisha. But Rebbe Nachman, we've never learned him before. But he's part of the Shugya Gemara, so we'll take a look at him. And he's talking here, Mistabek B'Or Ein Sof. We're bliving, but I think he's talking about Keser. I think he's talking about that same thing that the Ramchal is talking about with those 3 and the gain. She'ein sham shinoi ratzon. There's no difference of ratzon. Keser is ratzon. Except the only ratzon coming, the only feeling that's coming, we're just trying to understand, is the Avishter, is Hashem Elohim. Okay. Hainu shekulo tova meitiv. Everything is good and the good doer. And that's what it means when we say that one of his eyes of the fish can move a be'idra, like it says in Idra. Flags, where is Idra?
Idra Rabba.
The phone fell. But the Abish are going to see this fire. I'm sorry, I yelled in the middle of shiur, but I was just so excited that Schlig nailed it. And we have a very special guest, Joel Finger. Welcome to shiur.
Maar hoofdknetje is celery. Что еще?
What's up,
Panoia.
bro?
So
Welcome.
Schlig, you nailed it. What did you say?
No, is er anders?
Idra Rabba.
Idra Rabba is you know now. Next question: where is Idra Rabba?
What has beginning?
I would venture to guess it's the Midrash.
No.
It's one of the main chalakim of Zayar. It's
Okay.
one of the good blind. It's one of the main chalakim of Zayar.
Okay.
You know, and it's Idra Rabba, and that's what Rebbe Nachman's quoting. I'll just catch Joel up in 10 seconds. We're learning very esoteric tales of the sea from the biggest pirate in the Gemara, Rabba Bar Ḥana. And so we're learning Rebbe Nachman's interpretation of this wild story about a giant fish, and his eye was so big they got 300 sacks full of oil from it. Like it says in one of the greatest chalakim of Zohar, Idra Rabba, which we didn't learn yet in yeshiva school Shol. We learned Safra Tzniasa, and so we'll get there. Right now, our first time learning Idra in yeshiva school Shol, nearing the end of the 4th year, but job not done of yeshiva school Shol. We've been through great times, and we stacking da. Lizimna da'asi, and the time that will come. Yish tachach ba Eina chad derachame. You will find one eye of mercy. What? That one eye. I'm out here trying to fix my tefillin to channel the third eye, and we're talking about one eye. And that is the bechina. That one eye is the bechina of everything is good. Nimtza, yeah. That's by what's up?
The one
Ush's Wi-Fi, Nagla.
Ush's Wi-Fi?
It's
No,
gotta be.
It's hard to hear.
me?
Yeah,
I
or maybe me.
said the third eye is the one eye. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad.
Echad, duh. So you're saying that when you're talking about the one eye, we're not talking about the Shibud Malchias of their one eye. We're talking about obviously the third eye, the eye that doesn't have a pair. The one eye, the third eye, we're talking about the third eye. Clown spy, seeing out of his third eye. What a twist. What a twist. Great shot, bro. So he says that they see an eye, and it may be the third eye. That's what he's talking about in the time to come. Nimtza, that tzaddik osa atzmo ma. When a tzaddik makes himself what? Medabik es atzmo le'ena chad derachame. He connects himself to the one eye of Rachame. And that one eye of Rachame, I think, is Das. Right? Because if one eye is Chesed, one eye is Gevura, and then the other one was going to be Chesed underneath or Das on top. L'chaira, if my tefillin is any indicator,
Okay.
but I don't have a raya for such a thing. But that could
Again,
be the shot.
Das refers to the hidden knowledge. So what you see with the one eye, not the two eyes.
That could be Das. Das could be the one eye. That could be what he's saying. And now listen. But if Das is the third eye and it's above, right? He calls it Derachame. Ein Echad Derachame. I could see someone saying, no, that's Tiferes. Like you have Chesed and you have Gevura, and then you have Rachamim, you have Tiferes in the middle. But according to our understanding of where the third eye might be, maybe he's referring to Das. Let's see more. And he's talking about Ma. And also another raya we're talking about Das is that he says at the beginning that this whole thing is talking about the Bechina of Das. This last eye is the Bechina of Das. So Ein Echad Rachamim, Hainu Le'ein Sof. But wait a second. Das is not exactly Keser now, is it? But this is something that we've spoken about a lot in Yeshiva School HaShol. That Chabad, they go Chachma Bina Das. Why don't they talk about Keser? But when you have Das, you have no Keser. When you have Keser, you have no Das. They seem to be maybe, right? So he's saying that Das is Ein Sof here. I know Ein Sof. V'achar kach, kishte chozer, v'bechinas ratzav v'shov, when it comes back, bechina ratzav v'shov, like we saw that when we were learning Yecheskel and the second parak of Chagiga, running back and forth. Az mamshich me'or ein sof ha'achdus ha'ratzon ha'pashut. Let's go, ratzon ha'pashut. The simple will, the ratzon ha'pashut, the or ein sof. Sham derech ma, from it's what? Nazda mima meya. The ma, it turns into meya of 100. Kemosha amru al tikri ma elameya. Like it says Taka, because I'll make such a drasha. Okay, I was getting a little suspicious. Very not, what kind of drasha is this? Al tikri ma elameya. Okay, so because I'll say a thing. Okay, that, and by the way, that's the reason that Rebbe Nachman brings that raya, Kamosha Amru, like Chazal say, because if he didn't, he knew that like he would get eaten alive by sharks in the water. What, coming and saying such a form, Ma Mea, without saying, oh, Chazal say such a thing? Oh. Vinasa, right? So we have not Ma, but Mea. Vinasa plus Mea. So you have the 300. So you have the tlas is mitlas ma. So you have Mea 300 from 3 times saying ma in wisdom, saying ma in strength, and saying ma in wealth. All of those things that Tzaddik says ma. He says Yeshiva School HaShol ma. Oh, you need a drink, please. Is there any of the anything? Hasn't been a. So that's 3 times Mea. 3 times Ma is the 300 things of oil. And so he brings this ore from water. Me and Aquafina making bread like Fonzie. If we have a baby, then we call it Jews in Jerusalem. What do you guys think I'm going to say?
Amen.
Shout out dumbfounded. Okay. So you say ma 3 times, that's the ore. That came from the eye. The Hainu Garme de Mishka, those 300 sacks or jars of oil. Shiur b'chinas teichel. That's the b'china of the wisdom. Ata hareisa ladas. You began to know shemamshich or ein sof l'daito, that the or ein sof from Kester, it comes into the das. And so we're seeing, listen, we've been blinding a long time on the Kester das connection. And so now we're just seeing someone talk about it, Baruch Hashem. So he brings the das from the or ein sof. Sheyeda ha'achdus. You know the achdus, you know everything is Eibishter. Hashem Elokim. That Hashem is everything in nature. Hashem is everything in the world. Vivarich hatov ve'ameitiv ala kol k'mol azid lavo. They will be able to say Baruch Hashem on everything that comes. Oh, this hard thing, that hard thing. Baruch Hashem, Baruch hatov ve'ameitiv. Ki hadron azal levader trace yarchei shata kachazina dehave minastra mikarmayu livnana anach mechuza. They built from his bones. They saw that built from his bones. They built back the mechuzah. After the kedusha, shehem shneim asar shvatim, the 12 tribes. She'al yadam nistagei malchus hanal, because we really need them all. Every and every yid is an ice in the Torah, and if one ice of the Torah is puzzled, the entire Torah is puzzled. V'achareim iyatuma, but after them is the tumah. I don't know what that means. V'yesh b'nei adam sheyotzim kedusha, and there are people Rahman al who live the kedusha. V'zeh shesiper Tana, that's the story that Tana says. Hadar v'chazar le'ayin be'elu shehem bazar tracer. After 12 months, I wanted to see them. Wait a second. Rebbe Nachman calls Rabba Ḥana Tana when Rabba Ḥana was clearly an Amira. Tyler.
Great question.
That went back the Chazar La'ayin Be'elu Shehem Basra, right? Shehem Achorei Shneim Azar Shvatim the Kedusha. So that the other side of the 12 Shiftei of the 12 tribes of Kedusha. Sheyotzu Michal Yisrael Al Yidei Masem Harayim. Says Rebbe Nachman, they can leave Klal Yisrael with their bad action. But, is there such a thing? I think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always waiting for our tshuva.
Man.
So what's so bad that a person would leave Klal Yisrael?
Maybe that they don't do tshuva. Maybe that they don't think, I don't know.
No, maybe they
Not
join
even
the shibud. Maybe they join the shibud. And they're fighting against Klal Yisrael, fighting against the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But
right.
even a yid like that, even a yid like Rahman al-Islam, an evil, wicked yid like Jeffrey Epstein or Rothschild, still wouldn't have his chametz after Pesach. I'll just say that.
I have a potential shot on what we were saying when Rebbe Nachman calls him a Tana. You know, by our Gemara in Sanhedrin, where we learn out the Maisa of Yemos Mashiach and La'asad Lavo, Ein Bein Ela Yemos Mashiach. So, isn't the opinion Rabbi Yochanan is actually quoted in Rabba Bar Ḥana? So maybe, but then their parish says that it's...
two sounds late over here.
Right.
Rabba Bar Ḥana was quoting Rabbi Yochanan.
Right. That's
and that would mean that Rabba Bar Ḥana is the second generation Amira.
He wrote me my ksuba. He facilitated my wedding. Wrote me my ksuba. He has a Zoom class. They
built with the bones. Oh, yours gone? Okay. They built from the bones, Migarmayu. From the bones. That they did such evil things that it's even on their bones. And the etching, it goes from one side to the other side, mamish, like a drill. Aval al yidei sha'ish Israeli, and now This Orer B'tshuva. He does a little tshuva. Ayidei sheret katan shebenichirav. There's a little tuma in his breathing, in his nose. We saw, right? That small sherets that went into his nose. So there's a little bit of impurity in the avodah that he is doing, perhaps. And it's confusing him. Ayidei tshuva, though, gorein. When he does tshuva, it causes. So also those bad things that he did, they become a seat for kedusha. You do tshuva, he does tshuva, then all the mistakes he made, all the hard things that he's doing, that he's building on, becomes a kisei for kedusha, says Rebbe Nachman. The Yahave, the Vinyana, Ḥana Mechuza, and they will actually be what built up the city that was destructed in the first place. Because listen, I had spent a night out on the beach, didn't know everything, baby was taken, didn't have a phone, didn't have nothing, but he had made through. So those moments, they can also come. And even though it was a hard moment. But I was in the Russia in that story. I was just thinking that, like, even when you're in hard times, that's what becomes the infrastructure for greatness to build upon. Yeah, they were destroyed. But from that destruction, that there was a little bit of impurity in their avodah, and they're able to in it. They're able to in it with 300 bottles of ma. Yo, you gotta give yourself a plate of so what, and a big jug of ma oil. Of ma. I'm gonna lose a super show because something happened, ma. Zeb Perush. And then he goes into talking, remember, that's the end of this Rebbe Nachman. He goes in, talks about the greater context, but that's the pshat, and Rebbe Nachman talks about the story. There's a lot of ideas, talks about tshuva, talks about the shalosh meo karbe being 3 ma, and he talks about the fish, and his kashas the tzaddik. Okay, great Rebbe Nachman. We saw 3 pshatim so far. How much time do we have left in share?
11 minutes.
11 minutes, great. We're gonna, Emir Hashem, we're gonna see the Ben Yehoyada as much as we can today, and then we'll decide what we're gonna do tomorrow, if we're gonna go on to a new Maisa perhaps. But this was a great Maisa on this fish, and Rebbe Nachman says pshat in the eye that the Maharsha doesn't. Let's see what. And I also didn't say pshat in the eye. Hold on. I was going in a boat. Nearly he was going, what does it mean he's going in a boat? So he wasn't actually going in a boat, a physical boat. He was going in to learn some Kabbalah. Gewaldig. It's very important. Usafinta and Safinta like hidden away. Chashivas, maybe Lashon Safon. Kemo me'ayin safin umad safin. What's important? What's rakia? I don't know where the pasuk is. Kemo sheberish ba'arach, like it says in the arach. V'chazinan, I saw b'reis tichlit mitoch izgei sodos. I was dealing with Kabbalistic concepts, so I saw in my mind's eye. Yeah, he the how cover. I saw a fish. What does that mean? What does it represent? Ze Adam Arishon. I'm doing this with the Sephardi accent, to the best of my ability, in honor of Ben Ish Chai. This is Adam Arishon. Ki bnei Adam nimshalu ladagim. Because humans are compared to dagim. Kinis gal begoelet. Like it says in Gaialas. V'lachen meganeh la'adam harishon b'shem kafra. That's why they call Adam Rishon kafra. Shehu gadol. It's a big fish. Di'atva le achlatina b'uzeh. So he had this achlatina, this fish, he had this dirt eater in his nose. Rosh explanation. Anachash. Oh, guys, I told you guys that he talks about that the Ben Ish Chai talked about the Nachim. Now we get to see it inside. Baruch Hashem. Who ochaltina? The upper tochal koi mechayech. Eat dirt your whole life. V'yazif kocho shel nachash be'usei, and the strength of the nachash of the fish of the snake was in his nose. The strength of the snake of the Yitzhara. Perish b'chiyuzo shel chiyush tityaches la'abav tichtiv nishmach ruach chaim ba'abav. So the Yitzhara, Adam Rishon, the snake, mamish the nachash, it got him to his nose because that's where the ruach chaim was blown into, by the nose. V'amru b'gemara chayuza tekuli alma sevirale be'abehu. Where's the real life, the real breath of life? The life of the whole world's in the nose. The water pushed him and threw him into the side, right? Ritzono Lomar, his will was to know. Mayim azedonim shehem kochos hara shel hanachash hanikra mayim azedonim. So these waters of intentional sin, maybe, of intention, that the kochos hara, the strength of evil of the snake, hanikra mayim azedonim shalem nemar, that the water will wash me. I don't know. V'chein inatzla misonai mimake mayim. I was saved from my enemies and from deep water. So deep water is like kokos hara. Dachu es Adam Rishon. They pushed Adam Rishon v'shatu leguda. He's saying this is talking about the mice of Adam Rishon. Dichsiv v'yigaresh es Adam v'yashken v'kedem l'gad Eden. They threw him out of God Eden, and he was into the east. As a kruvim the lahat hacherev, the kruvim that were spinning the sword, hamis hapeches, that was spinning around. This more as derech eitz hachayim, to guard the path to eitz hachayim. V'amayim azidonim sheim kol chol nachash heim ayu asiba lezeh. The mayim azidonim, the snake, is what caused it. Says the Ben Ish Chai, when you're talking about this snake that ate Afar, it's not just a snake like a serpent, but mom is a reference to Adam Arishon. Adam was the fish. The Amar and it also says the Charav Minei Shitim Mechuzei destroyed 60 towns. The Gomer and 860 towns insulted and 860 towns. They ate from it. So 3 types of neshamas. There are some that really fell into the klipa. 60 were destroyed. There were 60 souls that stayed in Adam Arishon. And then there were the souls that gave the guy in Hevel. The Keneged Elu, they salted it and they ate. They went to a new place, the Nugget, the Kula, Mispar Shitin. The reason it says 60. Because these neshamas that were passed on, every bechina of neshamas split up into 600,000 neshamas. Nichlagu l'shishe ribai. Nichlagu l'shishe ribai. Ve'amar malu chad galga de'ena, one eye. Remember, talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. Shaya Mufchar Neshamos. That was the choicest of souls, the greatest one. Shaya Adam Rishon. That was the same soul that was in Adam Rishon. Be'einayim Sheim Mufchar Shebeguf, and they were in the eyes. In the eyes of the first of Adam Rishon. Plus Mea Garbe Mishcha, 300 sacks of oil. Remez Lo Shin. Talking about the Shin in the name of Moshe. Shehi Michrat Mishmo V'mata Klape Chesed. It's in the middle of his name, but it's going towards Chesed. Gemo, like it says in the Arizal. Hatam Shenikra Moshe. So Moshe and not Mahash. Right? It says Mina Mayim B'Shisiu. Why did they call him Moshe? Why did they call him Mahash? K'Kestuv B'Shemos Ayin Beis. He who knows the Chesed is going towards Chesed. Shehu Sod Chachma. The Chesed, the secret of Chesed is above his Chachma. That's called Shemen, wisdom. Can know that the Shemen is the Meir, increases the light. God increases the light, and the Chesed is called Or. V'zeh is Aber Hashem B. That's why it says that Moshe says Hashem is Aber B. And that's Yud Beis is a remez to the 12 months that you needed to wait to be Misaber V'bina, the Ibor Tikun Shalem, V'zeh Ba'vorchem, V'roshei Tevos, Misaber Hashem B, Hashem L'manchem, is Yovel. That's Bina, that's called Yovel, because you know Lad Bam Rishon Lo Hadol is Aber. You don't have to come with an Ibor Neshama. Talking about Gilgul here. Hello, Rak Shiva Chadashim, 7 months. Kilo Ha'etzarech Kol Kach Beiro. You don't have to clarify so much. Ach Echad Kach. Or sometimes you have to be pregnant for 12 months to fix the Biazos of Kol over door every generation. Ad Kan Ayin Sham. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about with that. The Zeu Amar, that's what it says, Kiyachon the Basra Tracer Yarche, that it goes back after 12 months. And I saw that they built from the garment, and they built that, they built up from the bones. Perish Achar Ibor Yud Beis Chodesh, after, I don't know, maybe he's talking about that they're not pregnant for 12 days, but 12 days left. Sha'ayel Moshe Rabbeinu. Oh, that the 12 months that Moshe had. Oh, Vashalom. Shehu Hashin, that's the Shin on this guy that's mentioned. So they're taking always mischus of Moshe. From strength, every generation. Like a sukkah. The chosim live no stuff. To go back to build it, that same town. Sherimzu, Sheramaznu Bahem, Al Neshamos, that were the Neshamos that were in Admar Rishon, Tenechuru that were destroyed and found to the Klibos. Kikoko Amatzoi, Bechol Dor, Hamisayel Davarzah. The Koach of Moshe that is reincarnated and brought back every generation could help us rebuild and remake the Heliga Welt. The Mamshech, Mamlech the Eibishter. And today we finished the Maisa of the Kavra and the Shlaz Meya Garve the Shimna. I don't know if my guitar is tuned, but that is not important. 528 hertz. I was trying to get to it. It sounds something like this, but that might be like 417 or something. The mice are doing our best healing. We did Marsha. We did Rebbe Nachman, and we did Ben Ish Chai on his Moradik and Stigl in Gemara. It's a big schuz. Today we have schuz to be joined by clowns by the Halig Jojo Tazzle. And it was a huge schuz for us, bro, to be steiging together. We hope to steig together a lot in the future. Every day,
Amen.
bro. We got 5 days a week, but no pressure. If you're looking for getting pressure to come to yeshiva, why don't you try to come to shiur? Why don't you try it? All right. Not to say anything negative with my